Hey there everyone, welcome back to another side quest. Devlog entry for Remembering Home, a 2D indie horror game. Description still pending. I'm here again to bring you some updates regarding the game's progress. If you remember in the previous devlog, I've talked about not focusing on small details. Alas, little by little, we're able to accomplish that. But for now, here's something I'm really interested in. This one suddenly came to my mind, and I didn't want to miss out on implementing it quickly. Yeah, another indie excuse. Ants! Do we like them? Sometimes. Do they like us? I don't know. Let's see. Well, there you go. They don't seem to like this guy. What's not to like about this guy? He's goofy. First thing I did was some sort of a force field around the player that makes the ant repelled away. In the Philippines, ants are very common. So after observing the ants living secretly in my house, I found out that I don't have a force field bubble. They don't necessarily scatter immediately, and then I iterated it to be more natural, or so I thought. Here's the scattering behavior I did. At ant spawn, find a random room edge that will be the escape target. Each frame, check if player's boundary overlaps with the scatter distance. Once triggered, the ants will scurry away to the escape target. After reaching the target, destroy the ant. I'm so sorry, poor ant.
Gotta go and meet him. Sorry.
Not the final behavior, but for now it will do. Now moving on to the flies. Do you want to scatter them too? Another polishing that I did was for the player controller. Right now when you spam left and right, as you can see, that the sprite flips instantly. That does not look good for a horror game with a focus on atmosphere. This is not an action platformer game where we want instant feedback. I've added a simple cooldown or delay to make sure that before turning the other way, there's a slight pause. Also, spamming left and right still looks like instant flipping, so I've racked my brains on what to do and I ended up with using hold keys instead of pressed. This means that either the left or right key must be held within a specified threshold before doing the intended action. I'm not yet sure how players will feel about that, but for now I'll keep them. Maybe you viewers know a better way? Let me know in the comment section below. Oh, by the way, remember how I mentioned in the previous video that making dev tools is tempting and fulfilling? Well, I've used the term addicting, but that may fly wrong with the audience, so there you go. I've created a simple inputs dev tool that shows if a key is pressed, released, held for duration, and key mappings. Although the press and release states seem to be unnecessary because the symbol is shown in a single frame. Now what about some content? Flam Endless Indie Game Studio has a very talented pixel artist called Wix, and he created all the arts of the game including a new DLC. Just kidding. A new content that's part of the story. So the process for assets is kind of tedious and as follow. Create scene in a sprite or as a sprite, I don't know how you pronounce that. Something like background, walls, items, and more. Then export the room, export the background, export the walls, the ceiling, the floor, then export the items. For this one, I've used the sprite export layer script to simplify this. Add new folder name and run the create atlas function in a build script which uses this amazing tool called ETA. Or export texture atlas. Go check that repository out. Then update data code to reference the generated atlas and the atlas data, which is a Lua table. And then here's how to integrate that into the code base. We need to update the main entry point or the main.lua to add the state, create a new entry in the source states file, update entries like the ECS Lua, resources Lua, and a lot of files. So here's how it barely looks. Wait, hang up. That happens often.
Bruh.
Don't blame my code that it's inefficient and not optimized. Let's try it again. There you go. A black screen, of course. That is because I haven't set up any light source. With DevTools, we can easily lessen the darkness. And whoa, another error. Let's try it again.
Another one.
Error still. It seems that it's due to me fetching the latest lab modules, which, by the way, I maintain.
A few moments later.
Finally! Yes, there's no item because I have to place them manually as Lua table data, which is tedious, but I'm pretty sure I'll make this iteration faster using DevTools. But that's for the next devlog. Since it's very easy to create a dev tool for designing, I've already done that and I want that part to be included in this devlog. So here's a time lapse of the still tedious room layouting / designing. The room looks dull unlike the other rooms. Honestly, tweaking lighting is more tedious since it involves shaders, which we are aware are kind of a black magic. But good thing is that I already have an existing dev tool for it. So here's the process for that. Takes a lot of tweaking, but seeing the end result is definitely worth the time and sweat. There's still a lot of things to add to make this room part of the game, like dialogues, puzzles, collectibles, and so on. There are 2 more rooms lined up. See you in the next devlog!